No, I would love to answer your question, but it's very true.
Yeah.
And any visitor.
Piazza Navona. Come on, the Piazza Navona. They all hang out there.
You think it looks like this is exactly what it is, like a gay festival. It's not.
It's for those who don't know, it's Piazza Navona. It's a beautiful plaza, and it has 3 fountains, beautiful fountains that are lit up beautifully at night, and lots of gelati stands, ice cream stands. I mean, you could sit in the cafe, have a cappuccino and a gelati, and it's very romantic. And but I don't think that people really care. I mean, if you were to be there with 2 men,
yeah, and that really is like the West Village of Rome. So I thought, well, just being there, it would be like, and there's artists everywhere, and they're very into performance and painting and stuff like that. Well, I don't know. It's a sin.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
You lived there for 3 years.
3 years.
And it doesn't speak Italian.
I know. I know. I heard that every day.
So fluent in 3 months. I was in Italy for 3 months.
Even when I met you today, you were just rattling off Italian.
Yes, we have an Italian program next door. Yes.
I know. I heard them. I know.
So Joe, what do you want to say to? What have you learned from your experiences from writing Garbo and writing The Bronx Queen? What have you learned that you could help with the gay men and women that are coming out or are dealing with their own internal conflicts and all that? What would you tell them now to help them to be less shameful, less fearful of letting people know who they are and living an honest life?
My thoughts on that are, you have to make the choice to take a risk. Don't let other people define you. Don't let the way you were raised define you. If you're feeling something, I mean, in this case, we're talking about being gay. You have to say it to yourself loud, and then you have to say it out loud. Because when you do that, you're not just doing it for yourself. You're doing it for hundreds of other people who are afraid to do it. And I don't think there's enough time anymore for us to be wasting. You know, we have to do it. Life is short.
Yeah.
Life is very short. Yeah. And the thing is, there's no benefit in living half of a life. It all sounds cliche, but the fact is, when I do my show, the gay people, the straight people, the closeted people, they all approach me afterwards and they say to me, "Thank you for being brave." And what I think is sad about that is, I don't feel like I'm being brave. I mean, now I do a little bit. I think, wow, I'm doing something that you feel is brave, but really, I'm just being me. I'm just telling you my story, and that should not be brave. That should be what everybody does. So, I mean, my thing is, stop wasting time. Right this moment, wake up, and live your life.
Especially at a time now that gay marriage is being, again, New Jersey. Yay, New Jersey.
Yes.
You know, they just approved gay marriages, and Governor Christie did not block it.
Right. But also, that's all fantastic stuff. Thank God we live in a time like that, because we didn't. But the thing is, now we have those opportunities, but it doesn't stop there. There is, I mean, and again, you taught me this today, and you're putting words to it. The gay shame is out there. Anything, by the way, you do for that, I would love to support your work on that.
Good.
By the way, thank you for even bringing it up. And I think my show does some stuff for you. You will see
the articles I write for those 2 magazines, and again, I'm very, very honored that both magazines have embraced, and they do this wonderful bio on me as well, and the fact that I've had this opportunity to do the show for the past 3 years, and also, you know, the book, which I need to, as I said, I have one last interview.
Now I'm going to bother you about it.
Got to get them finished, and now I'm meeting more and more people who could be of some help to get the book published. It's basically very similar to Word Is Out, which came back out in the, I think it was like the 70s. It was a documentary, which basically people telling about being gay.
Love it.
I use a lot of older folks who lived a very, very closeted life, and talk about the bars being raided and all that, and now at least we don't have that. At least that's something that if you did that now, it caused such a hoopla.
I don't know if this is controversial or not, and I want your opinion, but I think gay people should learn about their history.
Yes.
Some would say, well, that's negative. Now we're in a more positive place. But I find it so informative to know
that's wrong.
What people, I'm like a little bit younger than you, older than a lot of the younger people.
Right.
And I find it so helpful to know that there was a true struggle to get the simple things that we're getting.
I remember marching in a parade in Albany in 1972, singing 2, 4, 6, 8, gay is just as good as straight.
No.
And it felt, and people opened their windows, and people were waving. They weren't throwing anything at me. It was like, felt wonderful. And then that night I went to a gay a potluck dinner, and then it turned into dancing, and I saw guys cruising one another. And then I went to a bar, and I fell in love with the bouncer, with the doorman.
That's what happened.
You know, it's like...
How did that work out? Is there a 3-year play there?
Oh God, don't tell me. That's. I bring this up all the time in this show because the girls. I was with 5 lesbians,
right?
And they said, "Oh no, you're not going home with this guy. You're with us."
I love it. I love it.
I didn't love it, though I did at the time appreciate it because I was a little scared, you know. But oh God, I never went back to that bar. I could kill myself
in Albany.
I know, and they told me that he was a doorman there for quite a few more years after that.
Bouncers, Dr. Vince, are often quite attractive, aren't they?
Well, I was a bouncer at Uncle Charlie's in '84 and '85 and '80s. Yeah, a couple years.
That's around the time I was going to my first gay bars. I would love to have known you.
You probably ran into me.
I'm sure you bounced me. They let me in.
Wait till. Well, I had to look at your ID.
That's true.
But anyway, so what else you're doing as well as my Tony and Tina's wedding you did?
Well, I did,
in San Francisco. That must have been fun.
It was fun because I was the gay brother of Tina. So that was a rather, heterosexual show, but I was the gay guy running around planning the wedding.
Were you the Queenie guy?
I was the Queenie guy,
of course,
who was her brother. But I made that a statement too, because in the show, he falls in love with his boyfriend, who he's hiding, is the video guy, and they end up getting engaged at Tina's wedding, which I sort of added into that production, and then we made it a moment where they hugged and they kissed. So that was a statement, and I was proud to do that.
Wow, bravo for you.
Yes, thank you.
Because that was a very, I remember the show. And then you had done Adam and Steve's wedding, and you have, what was that like?
I loved it. My producer of Tony and Tina's wedding, he would see that scene I just spoke of us hugging and kissing, and the reaction was great. And he was surprised. He had not seen that before, but he was happy to see that the show ended with, happily ever after for Tony and Tina.
Right.
But then also that my character Joey and Ricky were getting engaged, and he thought, oh, we should try to highlight that, which I really appreciated him for thinking that. So he wrote, at that time, Adam and Steve's wedding. And this was before there were a lot of the laws we have now. Mm-hmm. So we did the same exact show for the most part, only Tina was Adam, and I got to play Tina, but I was Adam. And he was marrying his lover. And I think you would love this because you're a fellow gay man. I asked to walk into Barbra Streisand's the main event. So it started with Extra, Extra, I'm in love. Okay. And then I arrived that way. And then I ran up to my man and I handed him flowers and we hugged. It was it was fun, romantic, campy, and cute. And
where did it play?
We did it in San Francisco and we did it in New Hope.
I love the gay areas.
It was. Yeah, of course.
How was the reception?
It was loved where we did it, but it didn't have a life. Like no one was willing, it didn't have enough audience to carry. It was short-lived.
Yeah. And maybe it was a little too frivolous, you think?
Well, I mean...
Did it really go into substance?
I don't know. We can analyze that, but right. I mean...
We're both equity actors, so...
It was just a fun night out, and maybe they didn't advertise it enough.
Great. And did Happy Anniversary and Just Us Boys?
Just some shows I did off-Broadway. I mean, in both of those, as we said in the car...
Off-Broadway or off-Broadway?
Off at the time. Okay. Those were off shows. And they were... friends who I met and who were doing their own shows, and I was as I said, I have this voice and I have a specific look, so whenever there's a role for me I get it. Wow. But when there's not, so
interesting. You're a very animated guy. I can see a lot of roles for you, but tell us about this Lost, this reality show that you did. What is that about, and how long was that on for?
2001. Before 9/11. And Survivor, it was like the first Survivor was on TV and the first Big Brother. So, fame-oriented person like myself, I watched those shows and I said, I have to be on them. And I learned quickly there's always a gay guy. And I said, oh, they're going to pick me. I'm from the Bronx. I have a weird voice. I'm gay. I'm going to be picked. I made a videotape. I mailed one to Big Brother. And at the same time, there was a show that said, reality adventure series, NBC. It'll be the new Survivor. So I just threw the tape in. I'm not particularly adventurous. I just